bad. Pretty cold. What we're looking at here.
Oh man. Well, it's a power Spar. It's low cost, lightweight recovery option for pulling trees and timber out of the woods.
Okay.
This is an experimental prototype. I didn't know what I was going to get into, so I didn't want to spend too much money. The winch is $200 from Harbor Freight. The tubing is electrical conduit, so it's thin wall for lightweight. "12 feet long, and it weighs 80 pounds. The webbing is simply a tow strap, 20,000 pound capacity, and then the only other thing we need is a battery. I pushed the remote by bending over. So one of the options you can get with this winch is a remote. But otherwise, I use this. Of course, there's a freewheel. There's a freewheel feature for pulling out cable. And then in she comes. This next tree, I can't pull it in a direct line of sight, so I've got a side block set up. I'm going to go out there with the remote, and I'm going to pull the tree sideways and then rehitch and then bring it home. I started bringing this tree in whole. It was a stump about like that. And I bring in 8 feet, limb that much, cut off 8 feet, put it in the pile. And now it's just like hauling in a fish net. Every time the winch is running, I get a break. And every time I'm working, the winch gets to cool down. So I like the rhythm of the work. It's one person can just work along at a good pace.
Pretty slick.
I like working waist high because I don't have to bend over. I like working up here on the level instead of who knows where, and I like it that the brush all comes in. This is my poor man's wood chipper. I just chop it up as I go. Reduces the volume, and now I can load it with a pitchfork.
Excellent.
And again, and I didn't have to walk all that brush out of the woods because the winch brought it all in for me. This particular pile is going to go to the county sort yard, but I'll get a whole lot more on the truck than I would have if it was bulk branches. But if I was going to burn it, it would also make a really good tight burn pile.
Now you say you like to work without bending over too much. Once you get that pile of logs there, how do you move that to where you want to move it? Okay. I know you've got a lot more inventions you can show us here.
Well, I've got this set right up here. This is the crane that mounts on my truck, and there's another winch just like the Spar winch. It's identical, and I've got a control here. And here comes a log. That was a green log. So that's the reason I cut my wood in 8-foot lengths, is that I like to pick it up one time. What you just saw me do is pick it up to waist high. It's waist high on the truck. From there it goes to my work table, which is waist high. From there it goes to the sawbuck, waist high. And then it can go on to another pickup truck tailgate, to the splitter, before it ever goes back on the ground.
You got your saw table set up, and your
Yes.
I know you sent me pictures that I put on of the bucking horse there. If we can see that while we're here.
We can go there next.
All right. Okay.
I back a load of logs in right here, and with the same crane I swing the logs over onto this work table. Work table is good and hefty. It's on wheels, but I usually leave it right here. And on the other side of the work table is a sawbuck. Between these spaces is 17 inches. So I can roll a log onto here and just go to cutting without ever measuring and marking. And then I can get a good grip and transfer the wood over to a conveyor or to a pickup truck that would pull in right here.
Now I know you built the sawbuck there, and I know you built the table. Where'd you get the conveyor?
That was one of the first things I got when I went into the wood business in the early 70s. It came from Kansas and I bought it from a guy in Lyons. It's a grain elevator, but it works for firewood. So I can run this table in 30 minutes. It's amazing how you can work. Once you get it to this point, it's worth a little more effort to use the winches and bring them home in logs, because I don't have to touch my toes all day picking up wood.
Yeah, that well thought through.